3 months had passed since the Viper's attack. The mansion had been rebuilt, security tripled, but something far more dangerous than rival gangs was creeping through the halls. Thandiwe was fading. Not all at once. Dementia never worked that way. It was gradual, cruel, a thief that stole memories one precious moment at a time. Some mornings, she knew exactly who Daevin was. She'd scold him for working too late, make him eat his breakfast, pat his tattooed cheek with that gentle disapproval only a grandmother could master. Other mornings, she'd wake up screaming. "Get away from me!" she'd shriek, seeing the tattoos, the scars, the violence etched into his skin. "You're one of them. You're going to hurt my baby." And Daevin, the Ice King of Seoul, the man who'd never flinched from anything, would back away slowly, hands raised, tears streaming down his face as Naledi rushed in to calm her grandmother. "It's okay, Go-Go. You're safe. That's Daevin. Remember, his family." But Thandiwe's clouded eyes would only see a dangerous stranger covered in threatening ink. The doctors said it would get worse. Much worse. Her lucid moments will become rarer, Dr. Yoon explained quietly in Daevin's office. Eventually, she won't recognize anyone. Not you. Not even her granddaughter. Daevin's tattooed fist slammed into the desk, cracking the expensive wood. "Then fix it. I don't care what it costs. Fly in specialists from America, from Europe, from anywhere." "Mr. Kang," Dr. Yoon interrupted gently. "There is no cure for what she has. Only time. And love. Time. The one thing Daevin couldn't buy, couldn't steal, couldn't take at gunpoint. He was losing her all over again. Naledi found him that night in the garden, standing in the rain, staring at nothing. "You'll catch pneumonia," she said softly, holding an umbrella over both of them. "I survived worse." His voice was hollow. "She asked about you today. During her good hour." Naledi moved closer. "She wanted to know if you were eating properly." A muscle jumped in Daevin's jaw. "And tomorrow? Tomorrow she'll look at me like I'm a monster again." "You're not a monster. Look at me, Naledi." He turned, the dragon on his neck seeming alive in the lightning flash. "Look at what I am. What I've done. Maybe she's right to be afraid." "She's not afraid of you. She's afraid of what her mind is showing her. There's a difference." Daevin's hands clenched. "I'm going to lose her. Again. And this time, I can't fight it. I can't shoot it. I can't make it stop." Naledi took his tattooed hand in hers. "Then we love her while we can. Every lucid moment. Every smile. Every scolding. We hold on to those. It's not enough. It never is. But it's what we have." The idea came from an unlikely source. Jiwoo was Daevin's newest bodyguard, young, 24, with kind eyes that seemed out of place in this world of violence. He joined the organization to pay for his own grandmother's medical bills. "My Halmoni had dementia too," Jiwoo said hesitantly during a security briefing. "Before she passed. We made her a memory book. Photos, stories, things from her past. On bad days, it helped her remember." Daevin looked up sharply. "Did it work?" "Sometimes. Not always. But when it did." Jiwoo smiled sadly. "It gave us a few more good moments." That night, Daevin summoned Naledi to his study. "Tell me everything," he said. "About Los Angeles. About the apartment. About those 4 months. Every detail you remember, every story Thandiwe ever told you about that time." Naledi blinked in surprise. "I was only 6. I don't remember much." "Then we'll find what you don't remember." Daevin was already on his phone. "I'm sending a team to Los Angeles. They'll find that apartment building. They'll track down neighbors, store owners, anyone who might have known us. I'll reconstruct every moment if I have to." Daevin. She's forgetting. Naledi. Forgetting me. Forgetting us. Forgetting herself. But maybe if we show her who she was, she'll remember who she is. 2 weeks later, the memory book arrived. It was thick, leather-bound, filled with photographs that Daevin's people had somehow located. The old apartment building, now condemned but still standing. The laundromat where Thandiwe had worked. The corner store where young Daevin had stolen that candy bar. There were interviews too. Mrs. Chen from 3B remembered, that sweet black lady who always helped everyone. The laundromat owner recalled a hard-working woman with a kind smile and a little granddaughter. And there, in the middle of the book, was the only photo Daevin's team had found of the three of them together. It was grainy, photocopied from a community newsletter. Thandiwe stood in front of the laundromat, holding little Nalidi's hand. And beside them, barely visible, was a small Korean boy with a healing black eye, smiling shyly at the camera. Daevin stared at that photo for an hour. He'd forgotten he'd ever smiled like that. They showed Thandiwe the book on a Tuesday morning. She was having a good day. She'd recognized everyone at breakfast, had even teased Daevin about his tattoos. "Marking up your skin like a hooligan," she'd muttered, but with affection. Nalidi sat beside her grandmother on the garden bench, the memory book open between them. "Gogo, do you remember this place?" Thandiwe squinted at the photo of the apartment building. Her weathered finger traced the outline of the structure. I lived there, above the laundromat. The machines were so loud at night, but the owner let me use them for free if I worked Sundays." "That's right," Nalidi encouraged. "And do you remember who lived with you?" Thandiwe's brow furrowed. "You did, baby. You were so small, always carrying that stuffed elephant everywhere. And someone else. For a little while." Thandiwe turned the page. Stopped. There was the photo. The three of them. Frozen in time. Her breathing changed. "There was a boy," she whispered. "A little boy. He was hurt. So hurt. Those awful children." Daevin knelt beside the bench, his tattooed hands trembling. "I'm here, Halmione. I came back. Like I promised." Thandiwe looked up at him. For a moment, confusion clouded her features. This tall, dangerous-looking man covered in ink didn't match the small, frightened child in her memory. Then her hand reached out, touching his face the way she had 30 years ago. "Daevin," she breathed. "My sweet boy. You grew up so big. So strong." His tears fell freely. "Because of you. Because you saved me." "I didn't save you, child. I just loved you." It was the same thing. But the moment didn't last. An hour later, Thandiwe was screaming again, terrified of the tattooed gangster in her house. Daevin retreated to his study, the memory book clutched in his hands, and wept. Nalidi found him there. "1 hour," he choked out. "I got 1 hour where she knew me. Where she remembered. And now." "1 hour is more than nothing," Nalidi said gently. "And tomorrow, we'll try again." What if tomorrow never comes? What if that was the last time she'll ever recognize me? Then we'll be grateful we had today. The call came on a Friday. Dr. Yoon's voice was grave. "Mr. Kang, there's been a development. An experimental treatment in Switzerland. It's showing promise for patients in early to mid-stage dementia." Daevin was on his feet instantly. "When can we leave?" "There's a complication. The treatment requires the patient to be stable, emotionally stable. The stress of travel, new environments, it could accelerate her decline instead of helping." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying she'd need to go alone. Or with just her granddaughter. A small, familiar presence. Too many people, too much change." "You're telling me I can't go with her?" Silence. "You're telling me that if I want to save her, I have to let her go." "Mr. Kang." Daevin hung up. That night, he sat in Thandiwe's room while she slept. It was a good night. She'd known him at dinner, had made him eat his vegetables like always. "What do I do?" he whispered to her sleeping form. "If I send you away, you might get better. But you might also forget me completely before you come back. If you come back." Thandiwe stirred, her eyes opening. For a moment, Lucidity shone in them. Daevin. I'm here, Halmione. You look troubled, child. He couldn't lie to her. He'd never been able to. There's a treatment. In Switzerland. It might help you. But I can't go with you. The doctor says it might make things worse if I do. Thandiwe was quiet for a long moment. Then her weathered hand found his tattooed one. Then I should go. But if you forget me. Daevin, listen to me. Her voice was suddenly strong, clear, more lucid than she'd been in weeks. Even if my mind forgets, my heart won't. A grandmother's love doesn't live in memory. It lives in here. She pressed his hand to her chest. And here. She moved it to his. You'll always be my boy. Always. I just got you back. And you'll have me back again. But if there's a chance I could be myself more often, could remember your face more clearly, could really be here for you, isn't that worth the risk? Daevin's shoulders shook. I'm scared. So am I. But we're brave together, aren't we? He buried his face in her lap, this woman who'd saved him twice, who was about to save him a third time by leaving. I love you, Halmione. I love you too, my precious boy. Always. They left 2 weeks later. Daevin chartered a private plane. Filled it with everything Thandiwe might need, might want, might remember. The memory book. Her Bible. Her wooden cane. Photos of all of them together. At the airport, Thandiwe was having a bad morning. She didn't recognize him. Who is this man? She asked Naledi nervously, eyeing Daevin's tattoos. This is Daevin, Gogo. His family. He loves you very much. I don't know him. Each word was a knife to his heart. But he knelt anyway, this dangerous man covered in ink, and spoke gently. You don't remember me today, Halmione. That's okay. But I remember you. I remember you saved a little boy once. Gave him food and shelter and love when no one else would. That boy grew up. And he's going to make sure you get better. That's a promise. Thandiwe looked uncertain, but Naledi took her arm gently. It's okay, Gogo. We're going on a trip. Just you and me. As they walked toward the plane, Thandiwe turned back once. For just a moment, something flickered in her eyes. Recognition? Or just curiosity? Daevin would never know. He watched the plane take off, his tattooed hands pressed against the terminal window. Come back to me, he whispered. Please come back. 6 months later. The video call connected. Daevin's hands shook as Naledi's face appeared on screen. She's here, Naledi said softly. She's having a good day. Do you want to talk to her? Yes. Please. The camera shifted. And there was Thandiwe. She looked better. Healthier. Her eyes were clearer than he'd seen them in months. Daevin, she said, and his heart stopped. She knew him. She knew his name. I'm here, Halmione. Look at you, she said, and he could see her smiling. Still covered in those tattoos. Still not eating right, I bet. He laughed through his tears. You're right. I need you to come home and make me eat my vegetables. We'll be home soon, child. The doctors say I'm doing better. I'm remembering more. Not everything. Not always. But more. That's all I need. Just more moments with you. You'll have them. I promise. When the call ended, Daevin sat in his study and cried. But this time, they weren't tears of grief. They were tears of hope. 3 months later, the plane touched down in Seoul on a Tuesday. Daevin stood at the airport, his entire security team around him. But for once, they weren't there to protect him. They were there to welcome her home. The doors opened. Naledi appeared first, pushing a wheelchair. And in that wheelchair sat Thandiwe. She looked up, saw him, and her face broke into a smile. Daevin, she said clearly. My boy. He was on his knees before her wheelchair in seconds, this powerful man reduced to a crying child. Welcome home, Halmione. It's good to be home. Her weathered hand stroked his tattooed cheek. "Now get up. You're making a scene. And we need to go home so I can make you a proper meal. Look how thin you've gotten." He laughed, standing, taking control of her wheelchair from Naledi. "Yes, Halmione." As they walked through the airport, Thandiwe looked around at all the bodyguards, the security, the obvious signs of power and danger. "You really became something, didn't you?" she said quietly. "I became what I needed to be to survive." "No." She took his tattooed hand. "You survived so you could become this. Someone who loves deeply. Someone who fights for family. That's what I taught you. And that's what you remembered. Even when I forgot everything else. Even then." That evening, the three of them sat in the garden. Thandiwe was telling stories about Los Angeles, about the little Korean boy who used to help her fold laundry and the little black girl who brought home every stray cat she found. She was lucid, present, herself. Daevin knew it wouldn't last forever. The doctors had been clear, the treatment had helped, but dementia was still progressive. There would be bad days ahead. Days when she didn't recognize him. Days when she was lost in the fog again. But right now, in this moment, she was here. And that was enough. "I love you, Halmione," he said quietly. "I love you too, my precious boy." She patted his tattooed hand. "Now, about all this ink." Naledi laughed. Daevin smiled. And for the first time in his violent life, the Ice King of Seoul was truly, completely home. The end of Part 2. Sometimes the greatest battles aren't fought with weapons, but with love. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one with the wooden cane. Would you risk everything for family the way Daevin did? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment where you're watching from, and subscribe for Part 3, because this family story is far from over.